Did you know that Taylor Swift's first industry beef began when she was just 15 years old? And yes, she wrote a song about it. In 2003, 12-year-old Ashley Gearing released her debut single, Can You Hear Me When I Talk to You? And became the youngest female artist to enter the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart, peaking at number 36 in the USA. Now back in 2003, Swift was 13 years old and living in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, and being managed by Dan Dintrer, who is the same talent manager that Britney Spears was working with. Through his connections, Dintrer had Swift perform at Britney Spears' summer camp for underprivileged kids, model for Abercrombie & Fitch's Rising Stars campaign, and even secure a deal with cosmetics giant Maybelline for Swift to release a song on their upcoming promotional CD, Chicks with Attitude. However, Gearing's success while Swift was still an unsigned artist struggling to negotiate a development deal with RCA Records lit a fire inside of her. By 2005, Gearing had released the lead single, I Found It in You, from her upcoming debut album, Maybe It's Time. She was running in the same industry circles as Swift, who had left RCA Records after they had decided to not cut any of her music. She had agreed to wait for Scott Borchetta, who was a former employee of DreamWorks and had decided to leave and create his own record label, with the promise that once he had, he would eventually sign Swift. Swift's parents had since relocated their family to Hendersonville, Tennessee, for their daughter to be closer to Music Row in Nashville in support of her now failed contract with RCA. But Swift had performed at the Bluebird Cafe Writers' Night, been interviewed for Good Morning America, and even featured on the 2005 catalog for Taylor Guitars, which is all really huge. But Swift was still frustrated with Gearing's greater success with her being signed and felt it was undeserved. Gearing couldn't play any instruments, and she didn't even write her own lyrics. So one night after school, 15-year-old Swift had sat down with songwriters Liz Rose and Brian Maher, and they wrote the song about it. The song is unreleased, but it was professionally produced to a studio standard and contains lyrics like, singing songs you got memorized, whatever talent money buys. And, so what have you got that I ain't, and what do you do that I can't? Let's put me and you in an empty room and see who wins. The song leaked around 2009, and you can find it online anywhere, YouTube, SoundCloud, etc. Personally, I love Who I've Always Been. It's angsty, it's threatening, it's catty, and I totally understand why it wasn't released on Swift's 2006 self-titled debut album, but I do really hope it's on Taylor's version's vault.